Hello and welcome to BTE Media's In Conversation With series. Today we welcome Ed Tranter, Managing Director of 73 Media, AO Council member and part of the Eventex 100 most influential people in the event industry. Good afternoon, Ed.
Afternoon, how you doing?
I'm okay. You told me exactly where you were, but I can't remember now. What part of the world are we broadcasting to?
So we are actually in the main office in 73 Media HQ in Tunbridge Wells. After I tried to do this as a Zoom call from, I live in the sticks, so doing it as a Zoom call from country. So I did a speed test about an hour ago and discovered that the speed in the village at the moment is 0.9 meg. So I leapt in the car and nipped into the office where we have a bit more of a steady 100 plus, so that we could actually do it.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the studio you've got and how that sort of came about, given some of the events you're doing, because that's obviously quite relevant. Ed, before we get into that, obviously you've been within the events world and events industry for a number of years. I'm not going to age you by suggesting how many years. So it's safe to say you obviously enjoy the industry. What drives your passion for events?
So it's funny in terms of age. I was at the 30 under 30. I happened to be nearby, so I nipped in. Congratulations. Cool. And realised that I've been in the industry long enough that even if they were only just scraping for the 30 to get in there, they would have all been at nursery school when I started. So I felt very, very old.
You want a 50 under 50 or 60 under 60 or whatever.
I think that's what I need to go for next. So I've been in the events industry for a long time, and I think it's one of those sectors that you come into it and it either kills you immediately with the sheer relentlessness of it, and you just think this is not for me, or you get immediately hit by the bug of just this is amazing. Sure. You work with the most incredible people, you get to travel, you get to do loads of different things, you're under pressure the whole time, and you get to see something that goes from concept right the way through to completion. I remember the first time being on site for a build and looking around and just thinking, well, we're saying here that the build's going to finish in an hour and a half. There's no carpet. Half that stand's not built. Oh my goodness me, it's never going to happen. And then everyone around me was just like, newbie. And then sure enough, of course, came in the following morning and it was all beautiful and immaculate.
Yeah.
And just that sense of achievement and the fact that you can be truly creative in the events industry. Every room is a blank canvas. And for each show, you don't just sort of say, "Oh, we're going to do the same thing again." You don't going to do the same thing again. I worked in magazines for many years.
Yes.
And you get into that kind of treadmill of it's the next issue, it's the next issue, it's the next issue, and this is the pagination, and it's the same. The content's different, but it's cranking a handle was how I felt about it for a long time, and then here we get into this thing where you go, right, okay, this year we're going to completely change the thing. We're going to change the concepts. We're going to build this great new thing. Technology comes allowing you to do stuff. I remember we did one for an engineering event and we had a virtual reality setup. This was a few years ago where, it's like a storm.
Or is that the TARDIS just landing in your office?
I think actually it is a man in high vis, which is always nice to see when you work in the events industry.
Yeah.
But he is shaking some security fencing. So it's either electric and he's touched it, or he's testing that it's secure.
All right. I thought Doctor Who was going to join us for a minute.
He stopped thrashing and he has walked away. So we're going to go for the latter. Yeah. But yes, that engineering thing, we had people could put on their headsets, and for the visitors, we turned up, given a space on the show floor, and they were passing tools to each other and going through the loom of an A380 jet engine, all in virtual reality, working together. And one of them could have been in Australia and one of them could have been in London, and all those kind of creative, cool things that you can do. And I just love it. And the buzz of the people and the lack of sleep, and then the celebratory cocktails and, accidentally starting to busk in the middle of a Hong Kong subway at 1 a.m. We've all been there.
Okay. Yes, that would be another show. You can tell it probably after the watershed.